Can you turn the lights on, please, Lizzie? Thank you, honey. So, my name is On Imagination with the Healing Garden, and I feel like an idiot. This is like my why. So the universe, okay, the threads of 8 billion people tug at my core, and it gives me a feeling. And when I get that feeling, I can translate it into words. That's how manifestation works. And it says to me, tell your story. And I go, okay, I will build a company. And I build a company and I talk about triadic healing and I manifest and I ask the universe, the 8 billion threads that are attached to me, okay, what do I do next? And the 8 billion threads respond back, tell your story. And I've been doing this for a long time with the universe where I keep asking them. It's like that tarot card. You just keep asking the tarot deck. And it's like, why are you asking me this again? You know, I'm going to say the same thing to you every time. It meant it literally. Literally. I was getting the wrong message. It wanted to literally tell the story. And I went, like literally 2 minutes ago, I got off the thing and it went boom, tell your story. So when I wrote this book, it's not a memoir. I thought it was. This is my journal. This is my journal. It's not a memoir. When a young journalist, William DeShaw, seeks out Elizabeth, an acclaimed author, in hopes to write her biography, the recluse grants him 24 hours to hear her story. What unfolds are events that teeter on the edge of macabre and psychological thriller. Together, they descend into the bowels of her psyche and examine her past filled with neglect, rape, abuse, torture, and pedophilia to explore the psychology of a human being who has lived her entire life without love, comfort, family, physical contact, affection, therapy, or medication. As William tries to understand Elizabeth's decisions to embrace an isolated life, he witnesses Elizabeth's multiple mental conditions that send her spiraling into the worlds of her psyche, all while toggling the lines of insanity. It is available on Amazon. This one is for me, because it has to be, and for Tribble, who shared and endured much of the same hell alongside me. Preface. The events revealed in Broken are based on a true story, my story, and are shown exactly as I remember them best to my ability. Writing Broken was one of the hardest things for me to write and began as a very personal experience. In 1 week, I wrote 56,000 words. In the second week, I revised Broken and finished the manuscript at 96,000 words. Over the next 2 weeks, I edited Broken as my beta reader provided feedback. Within those 2 weeks, I relived every event all over again. I am writing to you, dear reader, because there are a few things I wish to say. Wow. I was fifth perspective when I wrote this. All mental healing begins with awareness. Broken was written as the events shown in part 5 occurred. I had decided to do what I've always talked about doing. Accept my loneliness instead of fighting it and become a hermit. With this decision came one simple question. Am I sure this is what I want? To determine this answer, I wrote Broken. As you will see, I needed to remember. I needed to make myself aware. I needed answers that were dependent on a change of perspective. Perspective. That is what this is really about. Perspective. The only way I could gain the perspective I needed was to write Broken. This was all about being honest with myself and coming to terms with what I am. I wrote this not to berate those who wronged me, to wallow in self-pity, or to help others. I wrote this for me. I wrote this to understand why I was what I had become and to decide if I had to accept loneliness. No, no, I don't. Broken is simply my journal that I wrote for me. The more I wrote, the more I became aware of how absolutely broken I am. Through my writing, I captured my state of mind and the severity of my mental conditions. I wrote this for me. I chose to publish it for you. By the time I finished Broken, I realized 3 basic truths. My children were being affected by my mental conditions. It was time to be honest with myself. Many others could benefit from this experience. This 3rd truth is what led me to make a very conscious decision. Broken is raw. This manuscript has seen 1 revision, 1 carefully selected beta reader, and 1 authorial edit. My editor put Broken through 2 professional edits, and that is it. Normally, I would subject a book to multiple revisions, more than 3 dozen edits, and a dozen beta readers before even allowing my editor to see this, let alone you, dear reader. This revision editing process is gruesome and mandatory. However, my perspective and mental awareness changed so quickly after writing Broken that to edit this manuscript or pass it on to several beta readers would be to lose the honesty that I had captured. It is imperative that I not change a thing. I had forgotten why I didn't. I knew a lot more at 5th Perspective than I remember knowing. I am surprised I remembered and knew this much about the 5th Perspective. No, I'm not going to be able to not talk while I read this because, wow. When I remember that memory, I remember I wrote Broken because I had to find an answer, and I published it to help others. But that was it. I did not realize I was aware of my perspective changes by then. I did not review Broken for story, flow, or characterization because I truly believe the more I revised and edited this manuscript, the more I would lose what I needed to present here. Near the end of my first and only authorial edit, I caught myself applying changes that I soon realized altered the psychological meaning. Those changes would complicate the process needed for diagnosis and my own awareness. More importantly, those changes could have allowed me to slip back into denial. I removed the additions I made, finished that only edit, then cut myself off from this manuscript. I repeat for emphasis, I cut myself off from this manuscript. If the reading is rough, I ask that you forgive me. The topics covered in Broken are difficult for some people. I portray a number of sensitive subject matters, including animal abuse, torture, graphic rape scenes, violence, strong language, and drug references. I do not sugarcoat any of this. Rape, torture, and abuse are true horrors people live through. No dramatization was needed for this part, and I do not believe in softening the truth. Broken is brutal, ugly, and honest. It was not written for shock factor. It was written only for me. If you are a victim of sexual abuse, I strongly encourage you to speak to a therapist before reading this book. Not doing so could prematurely awaken memories you may not be ready for. The results could be disastrous. As always, I thank you for your support. Warmest wishes, and may the kindest of words always find you. Angela B. Chrysler. Sink into my mind with me. I will show you what I see. That was my logo. Sink into my books with me. I will show you what I see. It was my second business's logo. I did not realize I changed it specifically for Broken. Sink into my mind with me. I will show you what I see. I'm going to be doing a reading on this every day from now on. I'm going to go with what feels right for me, not what you want. Broken is available on an audiobook, but I am not happy with the quality, and I have always wanted to record my own book, which I will be doing next year. If you've ever wondered if you're alone, if you've ever wondered if your insanity is actually insanity, read Broken. Read Broken. The women who've read Broken have put the book down and they seek out therapy. Because by showing you my mind, I show you yours. I show you that I understand you. I show you that I understand you. And now you can relate to me. So when I say to you, I know how the subconscious mind works, so I know where all the switches are to change it, so you end the insanity. Read Broken. And then go to my website and look up how to cure perspective abuse. And that should take care of it for you. Read Broken. And then go to my website for the cure. Thank you. And may the kindest of words always find you.